Okay, so the good people over at Signature sent me this new film. This is the year, right? It is the featured directorial debut from David Henrie. He also co-wrote the film with Pepe Portillo Bug Hall and Sienna Aquilini. The film is then produced by James Henrie, um, Leo Severino, and it is executive produced by Ray Bradley, Greg Christie, Dennis J. Gallagher, Joe Gawalas, David Gendron, Selena Gomez, Stefan Jacobs, Scott Katzman, John Kingston, Luca Matt Rundola, Catherine McKenney, Chris Molinax, Luca Rimea, Jerry Rothschild, Philip Samecki, and Jason Weinberg. It is associate produced by Greg Solkin, Pepe Portillo, Frankie Maines, Nick Logan, Patrick Heapy, Bug Hall, Ron Goldman, and Doug Coop. Yeah. Line produced by David E. Gornston. Music was handled by Benjamin Zecker. Nathaniel Voss handled cinematography. Marcus Helica and Pepe Portillo edited the film. Nancy Nail handled casting. Production design is Alexi Johnson and Angelo Libuti. Art direction, Alexis Wade. Set decoration, Mark A. Terry. Costume design, Sky Stewart Short. Hair and makeup, Ashley West, Tiffany Lord, Jason Frazier, and Julie Callahan. And our cast. Well, we have got Josh, right, who is played by Lorenzo James Henrie. And yes, that is a brother of the director. A younger version of Josh that we see at the very beginning is played by Boston Pierce. We have then got his, like, I feel it's his best friend, Mikey, played by Jack Short. Mikey's brother, Donnie, played by Bug Hall. There is Zoe, right? Played by Alicia Jarrells. That's Josh's cousin. And his best friend, Molly, played by Vanessa Moreno. Zoe's boyfriend is Kale, played by Greg Solkin. Yeah, there's Sophie, played by Kat Katzman, who Kale meets at the gig. Who else do we have? We've got Josh's teacher, Mr. Elmer, played by Jeff Garland. There is Liz, played by Deanna M. Cruz. Luca, who Donnie befriends, is played by Greg Christie. Food truck and all of that jam. Um, we've got Sebastian, who jumps in as a love interest. He's played by director David Henrie. Um, Dr. Space Cakes, played by Sammy Voigt. Yeah, I feel that's probably our main group, right? I think that's it. Maybe Leo, played by Trey Shable, and Danica, played by Yvette Gregory. Now, the gist of the film, people, is this. Okay. In a last dish effort to win over the girl of his dreams, a nerdy high school senior and his best friends embark on a road trip to see their favorite band at the biggest music festival of the year, only to discover true love in the most unexpected place. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Now it then says this is the year is a feel-good contemporary spin on many of the classic 80s movies that resonated with that era's youth. It aims to address the issues facing teens today, speaking their language and breaking through with a story that actually means something. Right. Okay. So this film, it opens up with a young Josh, right? Lying on his bed, flicking through channels, and then he comes across this 80s film, right? An 80s film where, you know, this guy and he's like this nerdy little guy, and he's looking at these cheerleaders, and then he asks like this, you know, cool dude next to him. He's like, how do you know what love is? How do you know when you're in love? And the guy's like, you just feel it. And then this, you know, the cool guy locks eyes with the lead cheerleader, and boom, right? And this resonates with young Josh. So we then see him, we jump 10 years later, right? He's just about to graduate school, and he's bought himself a jacket just like this character in this 80s movie, which, I mean, it wasn't cool then. It's not cool now, right? But yeah, it's, you know, him, you know, like they're driving to school, and his friends are like, oh, yeah, we're just picking up, you know, your cousin. And the girl, right, is Zoe. But here's the thing. Now, it's his cousin, right? There's no part of the fucking film where it's just like, yeah, maybe don't date your cousin, right? I feel that that's what happened. That's what it was said, right? Otherwise, it's not very clear. But it sounded like she was his cousin, right? And yeah, that was super weird. Super fucking weird. Because it's just like, you're not going to date your cousin. You know what I mean? But the thing is, right, for me here, now in the synopsis, right, it says that it's aiming to address issues facing teens today. It didn't address any of that, like nothing. You know what I mean? Like, this was a film that would speak to anyone, I think, that enjoyed, you know, if you enjoy stuff like the Broken Hearts Gallery, right? or About Fate. Films like that. If that's your jam, nothing wrong with that, right? Freaky, the Lucy Lindy Lonzy the Lohan chick. What's her name? It begins with L. Fuck. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, people. I feel it speaks to that person, right? Because it is very superficial, right? We're getting surface level shit here, you know. It's not going deep, right? Because at no point do we really have Josh trying to find out what Zoe likes, right? There's none of that. It's not, I really like her because, she digs these things and we connect on this level and blah, blah, blah. No, nothing. So it's not giving you that, right? Showing, how you might want to connect with someone or anything like that. His best friend, Molly, who lives across from him, in that typical kind of 80s vibe, and so they talk through their bedroom windows. Hey, you know, but as soon as that, like, where this story is going, right? You know where the story is going. But yeah, they've got Zoe, like Molly, who wants to get into psychology, and there's a bit where she's like talking with Zoe, and Zoe's like, oh well, psychoanalyze me. And she's like, oh no, people get upset when I do it. And she's like, oh no, I'll be fine, do it. But you know where that scene's going. But here's the other thing, right? You could only really break someone down if you know that person. As far as we know, these girls don't hang out, right? We've never seen like scenes where they're hanging out and doing all of this. So everything just seems rather weird in that regard, you know? It's just it's not going deep, right? And when the film is saying that it's looking to speak the language of this generation, it's not doing that, right? It's not going, oh yes, social media is telling you like this is the way that you're meant to live your life, and or one night stands are cool, and just it's not speaking on anything, right? It's not addressing any of these issues that might be facing contemporary teens. So it's a bit weird, right? I do not think it is addressing people of this era. Right? I think it's just kind of trying to do that 80s thing. You know what I mean? Where you've got a guy, he thinks he's in love with someone, and then all of a sudden he realizes that, oh, I'm in love with the person that was in front of me all the time, right? Which is all well and good, but if you've lipsed up a girl, you know what I mean? And you're telling people, oh yeah, no, we had this moment, we connected on this different level, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, it's like, actually, no, I'm in love with that person. It's just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So, like, if they were really doing it, it would just be like, hold on, you literally just kissed that girl. So I like you, but let's just go on a date first, right? If it ended like that, you'd be like, yo, okay, yeah, that's kind of real. That's kind of, you know what I mean? People taking charge of their situation, and but it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. We got some weird moments, they're going to this festival, right? And again, it's a weird lie to tell, right? It all starts off with this weird lie, which makes no sense. And it's just, what the fuck are you doing? And then it just keeps on going and going and going. Right? You've got someone that wants to go to university, but he's like, I don't want to offend my brother and his dream and blah, blah, blah. But no one's talking. Right? Now, if they wanted to deal with communication, that would have been fine. But again, they're not really dealing with these issues, you know? But food trucks, you know, food trucks is trendy, so they throw food trucks into it. And when they like, you know, Donnie turns up with this food truck, it's dirty as fuck, right? And you think if someone's selling a food truck, or just anything, a truck, a car, like they would have cleaned it. Do you know what I mean? Is you think they would have cleaned it, right? Now, it's not like he turns up and he's like, oh yeah, it's just a bit battered and bro, we need to give it a paint and all of this stuff. Everything works. I tested everything. Don't say that. So then at the end, when it's just like they're cooking in it, you're just like, wait, hold on. Hold the fuck on. And they go to the supermarket to buy ingredients, right? Go to the supermarket to buy ingredients. And it's like, they're just, it's shitty ingredients, right? So there's no one literally going to be, this is one of the best things I've ever had because it's not good ingredients. Like none of it makes sense. Like they go to, there's a bit where they're, you know, Josh is running through this festival and he goes through a tent. Everyone's wearing headphones, right? And the headphones that you wear for a silent disco. But we, as the audience, can hear the music, which is just like, hold on. That makes no sense. If it's a silent disco, right? Everyone's jamming to different music. We shouldn't hear the music, right? It's just like, huh? And it's always weird when you have those scenes and everyone's jumping around like it's an energetic song, but the song that's actually playing is kind of low key, and you're just like, no one jumps around to songs, that kind of song like that. Like, what are we doing? This is weird. It's weird. Hey, now listen, the acting is fine, right? It's just the script. It's not like it works for a film which you just don't think about. If you just want some popcorn, a doppelganger of a just mediocre 80s film, this is it. This is it. It's not Pretty in Pink. You know what I mean? It's not a John Hughes film of this era, unfortunately. I think that's what it wants to be. It's not that, right? It's not you know, it's like She's All That. It's trying to be something like that because we do get that scene, right, where the girl gets a makeover, but it's like she's not plain or ugly or anything. You know what I mean? Before the makeover, so it's just like, oh my god, look at you. And it's just, oh, come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's just, yeah. It's one of them films, man. It's one of those films. And it's not very diverse. I was just say that it's not very diverse. Fuck. But hey, if, as I said, look, if you like something like the Broken Hearts Gallery, you know, those type of jams, then this could be for you, people. So listen, if a base level 80s kind of flick is your thing, then this is the year will will be cool. You'll jam to it. You'll get on very fine. But it's not reinventing the you know, the tale. right? It's not even really a modern spin on it. You know what I mean? But to each their own, man. To each their own. The film is out on the 2nd. So, yeah, you can start your new year with this if you wish. All right? This is the year. Boom.